live react this because I want to prove my point.
So we're gonna have Kobe on because Kobe is the one that asked Corey Bush the tough questions, didn't shy down. There were other journalists there that didn't ask any tough questions. So I want to talk to him about that. So we're going to have him come on to talk about the Corey Bush and all of that, because I agree with you and everybody else. It was an absolute photo op. She never promoted the event. Then she shows up.
You could say, I was always the one who in the past,
What
a few years
even? Let's try this again.
Try to interview Corey Bush. So listen to this. This is pretty crazy. 12,000.
Okay, so I was going to wait till tomorrow morning to do this, but I just...
Okay, let's talk about this for a second. M for All was an event sponsored by the Movement for the People's Party, Nick Brana's organization, which is a grifter organization that has been raising funds to get people into the idea that they can create a third party, but he has no intention of actually getting that done, because he's been getting money from people since 2016, I want to say, to build this up, and it has never materialized. They haven't run a single candidate as far as I know. And sorry, I'm under a flight pattern. What the hell even? God damn. All right. Point being is they booked like absolutely ridiculous speakers, and the fact that she showed up to support this at all is not only amazing that she would try and connect with this group of people, but her the reaction they gave her was spectacularly bad.
I want to get it out of my head right now, while it's still fresh, while the sunburn's still fresh on my face, So, I met Corey Bush. Representative Corey Bush made a surprise appearance at the March for Medicare for All rally in Lincoln Park in Washington, D.C. today. And so, noticing Corey Bush, I walk over to her and I ask, can I interview you? Can I just ask you two questions on camera, just real quick? Her and her security guard look.
Who is this guy, anyway? What does he do to actually advance Medicare for All? Who is this dude? Is he like one of the other Nazis that you booked for your events? Is he like Jackson Hinkle or Jimmy Dore? I don't know why my neighbors do that bullshit to me. That's so fucking funny, though. They do that bullshit to me. All right. Is he Jimmy Dore? Is he Convo Couch? Is he like a completely uneducated person, just like the rest of you all, who keep trying to take on these talking points and act like you're the fucking owners of this information? Let's go.
At each other, they're kind of suspicious of me. They're like, who are you with? And I say, I'm totally independent. I'm just doing this for myself. I just do this alone. And then I was like, here, I'll even...
Oh, yes, you just do this alone, but you're getting highlighted on the Convo Couch. You're like totally alone though, right? Like you don't have any connections whatsoever, right?
Tell you the questions before I start filming so that you can decide whether you want to do this or not. And so I said, the first question is, why are you here today? Why'd you show up to the March for Medicare for All? The second question was, how would you respond to your force the vote critics who think that elected progressives should use their leverage as a block? And Corey responds,
they were literally still pushing force the vote, you guys. They were literally still pushing their bullshit force the vote shit. This ties right back into the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, by the way, because the whole force the vote thing was an attempt to get McCarthy in as Speaker of the House. That was a Republican strategy. And it was an attack on Nancy Pelosi, which, we might not all agree with her politics, but I don't think this is the way we would want to unseat her, is through violence, right? So they literally had this force the vote strategy where they're blaming all of the progressives we elected who Dem entered as being the problem here. And they're literally doing the GOP bidding. This is amazing.
I'll answer the first question for you. I support Medicare for all because, a good answer on why you would support Medicare for all. But then, when it came to the second question...
Okay, so what was her answer? What was her answer on why she supports it? Like, you literally just breezed past that bullshit. She showed up to the event to support you guys, and I can't even.
I asked again, why can't you answer the second question? Oh, it's just manufactured division. It's not really a problem. We're not that divided at all. That's just manufactured. Basically just brushing it off as if nobody has a reasonable concern. Like, as if force the vote wasn't even a real thing. And so, while she's walking away, I say that was a very politician-y answer.
It wasn't a real thing. It was some bullshit. Okay? It was never going to work, and it was intended to get McCarthy in as speaker. So, shut the fuck up.
Answer of you to give. Because it was like, what the fuck? She totally just dodged it. All of these people showed up this day. Plenty of them, you'll see in the interviews I post, plenty of them were supporters of forcing the vote on Medicare for all. And for Cori Bush to just disrespectfully say that it's a manufactured division and that it's not worthy of her to respond to,
yeah, the only person still pushing that bullshit is Brianna Greyjoy, right? You do know this, right? Like, everybody else realized that was a failed fucking strategy. Everybody. And a lot of us knew it was a dumbass strategy from the very get-go.
I was furious. So, but, it's over. She walks away. She's still here at the rally today. Okay.
Okay, Fiorella.
There's a second one? Yeah, well, he's coming on shortly.
Cool. What's the second one? I didn't see it.
So then, I'm filming the... She's still here at the rally today. Okay, we're happy. So then, I'm filming the event. People giving their speeches and whatnot. And Savage Joy was giving a really good speech about Force the Vote and why it was so personal to her because of her own personal history, her medical history and whatnot. And so, I felt this feeling jumping out of my chest of, I need to say something because Cori Bush is here, and I know she's going to get credit for looking good for showing up to this event surprisingly. Wow, so awesome that she showed up. But then, you just have somebody like Savage Joy up here giving a heartfelt explanation about how Force the Vote made her feel. And I was like, no, Cori Bush is not about to get away with what she said to me, and nobody else knowing that she said that to me. And I was so pissed that I didn't film Cori Bush right away. I was being respectful when I walked up to Cori Bush. I didn't have the phone in her face filming right away. No. I even let her vet the questions ahead of time. I didn't even start filming right away.
Okay. So you're saying you didn't interview with her. You didn't get the answers you wanted because you're a Jimmy Dore sycophant. And so then you tried to turn this into a hostile environment in which she would have to leave the event because she didn't agree with your fucked up plan of Force the Vote that was going to get McCarthy as speaker. Okay, keep going.
I should have been filming, so I have proof that she said these things. But, so, Savage Joy is giving this speech, and it's really touching and really inspiring to me. So finally, I shout out, go look over there, there's Cori Bush over there. She, is against Force.
Yeah, so not only did he, try and, cause a riot against Cori Bush, but he's also, exemplifying Joy Marie Mann, Savage Joy, who I know, and I know for a fact is a very bitter person who is easily she's easily manipulated by this particular crowd. She desperately wanted a job on the Bernie campaign and they wouldn't hire her because she's too fucking bitter. Let's be real.
The vote, she said that it's a manufactured division and that it's not a real divide, but so she was basically, I called out Cori Bush in front of everybody, trying to point out, She's invalidating you, Savage Joy. You know, Cori Bush is here, and that's great. We're so happy that she's there in solidarity. But how can you, on one hand, be there in solidarity, but then on the other hand, the people you're there in solidarity with...
It should also be noted that Joy has no credentials. Let's be real. She has no fucking credentials other than she started a live stream and, like, got some bitter following of people who are like, yes, I hate the Democratic Party too. Yeah, like, I hate everything that's happening right now. Like, she doesn't, she's not doing any sort of volunteer work or anything. The Bernie campaign did not want to hire her. She was very bitter about that as well. And a lot of people who were formerly her contacts, myself included, have, like, cut ties with her at this point because she just is riding on the fact that she's disabled. She has an eye injury. She's like a disability with her eyes. We tried to raise money for her. And then she went on to help Republicans capture the governorship of Florida. Like, not everybody who, like, everybody's complicated. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's complicated. You could be disabled and still be a bad person. You can be, like, there's so many complications to this. But basically, Joy got recruited as part of the celebrity board for the Movement for the People's Party. She was part of the celebrity Slack channel that included people like Medea Benjamin, and Nina Turner was on it. Nina actually resigned from it and got out of it right before she decided to run for Congress. I think it was Congress, right? And as soon as she resigned, she was immediately attacked by Jimmy Dore and the MPP network because they act like Scientology or Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, the minute you're out, you're out.
You won't even give us a straight answer on working together as a bloc to leverage against the establishment. You know, and that's a lot of people there want that answer. That's why I asked Cori Bush that question directly. And it's just like, you know, and after I called her out in front of everybody, you know, Cori Bush just kind of walks away.
Yeah.
All right, Kobe.
Yeah.
You here?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cover the whole fucking thing, but there is actual footage out there. I just couldn't find it. There's also footage of Pasta in a chicken suit in front of what he thought was Nancy Pelosi's house. And he's there with Code Pink, and Betty is in that footage too. They were all up there protesting what they thought was Nancy Pelosi's house, and it was not her house. And when the police confronted them and said, hey, you know, Nancy doesn't actually live here, they're like, well, we're almost wrapped up. We're gonna complete our speeches and then we'll leave. You were literally harassing private citizens that had nothing to do with Nancy Pelosi. But this is all you fucking care about, is hurting people. That's all you goddamn care about.